All right, so this week, weekly challenge number 9, all we're doing is we're determining the top 5 based on count, and for the same values, just give them the same rank, okay? So if you look at the solution here, Janet and Mark, they both have 17 for count, so they're both ranked number 1, all right? So how do we do this? Well, what we're going to have to do is we need to first figure out the unique values of the counts because we know that there's duplicates. So we're going to first do is we're going to go into the transfer ribbon and pull a summarize tool. Do here, we'll summarize by the count, and we'll say group by. That'll give us the unique values. We run that, and we see that these are all the different values that are unique in there. Now we want the top 5 values. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of use this pseudo ranking method. It's going to be a combination of record ID and sample. I say it's pseudo because it's not truly a ranking tool. The record ID tool, all it does is it just gives a record ID for all your rows. And because of that, that's why we kind of have to use some other tools to kind of mimic that effect. And so what you're going to have to do first is you're going to have to sort it the way you want. Because like I said before, the record ID is a dummy tool. It just gives every row a record. So first we'll sort it by the order we want. So we'll do count and we'll do descending. All right. So we run it that way. The first number is going to be the highest number. So 17, 15, 14, right? And this is where we then give it the record ID. We run it again. Okay, let me take a pause there. So I just ran it immediately because I know the inputs, but well, no, it doesn't matter. No, the record ID doesn't really have an input value. I mean, you can change the type, but and I guess you can change this here, but it doesn't really have an input value per se. So so anyways, that was a small detour, but okay. So I give every single unique count a record ID, and that effectively is their rank. And so the next thing I need to do is I just need to take the top 5. Oop, I don't need the sort. I need the sample. So to do that, I just do first n rows, first 5. When I run this will now give me the top 5 values that I want to collect, okay? So I'm effectively done at this point. I know which 5 values are top. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to join back to this original. I'm going to basically match back to this original database. And so this will only pull back values with these counts. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'll go to join. It's under the join ribbon. We'll do left. It doesn't really matter left or right what you want to do. Well, it may, but in this case, it's not really that. It really depends on like how you interact with this field, I suppose. But in this case, we're gonna join by count. What values do we need? All right. Well, from the original database, we'd like to. I mean, the count doesn't matter because both fields have the value we need. But just for the sake of, just pick one. I'm just gonna do right. Right is the original database. I'm gonna pull the count value from here as well as the names. I'm gonna ignore the count value from there, but I will take the record ID. And the reason I'm gonna take that is because remember that's effectively a rank. So I'm gonna rename that as rank, and then I will run that. Okay. And so it will only match on the two data sets I gave. It will only match match rows with the same count values. And so if you look at the join results, it will only bring me those 5 values, which it does. Okay, so what has happened here is based on those top 5 values, I have 12 results. Okay, as well as their supposed rank. Okay, left there should be nothing. Right, these are all the values that didn't fit within top 5. So it looks like it worked so far. At this point, you're done. What you can do is you can clean it up. I could sort it. So I could sort it again by rank. We'll do ascending, and that effectively should give you the answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the other one is you of course want to check for QA, see if it's the same answer as this. Roughly, it's 12 records. 12 records. We probably got it right, but if we want to be careful, we can always just do quick QA. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just stack them on top of each other, all right? And then I'm going to dedupe it. And if you've seen my other videos, the reason I'm going to do this is because logically, if these 2 values, once you stack on top of them, if they're exactly one-to-one the same, then if you dedupe it, that is if you remove all the duplicates by all the unique fields, then in theory, it should split by exactly half. So right now there's 24 records stacked on top of each other. If this works, it should be 12, 12. So this is the input. We look at the output. There's 12 here, 12 here, and you are done. And so this is the answer that they're looking for. So there's that. Another quick way you can kind of play around, or another way you can get to this answer, is to use the tile tool. It's a little bit more clunky simply because it's similar to, I guess, the rank and record ID tool. It's not necessarily ranking per se, but if you want to do it that way, what the tile tool does is it groups unique values into groups. That's the most superficial way I could explain it. I don't want to spend too much time going into detail like what you can fully use it for, but just think of it high level like that it has the ability to group values into the unique groups. And so if you look at our original data set, because we have some duplicates, we can, in theory, do something similar, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this here to the tab tool, and I'm going to say, hey, look, so the way to set it up is you can do all sorts of things. The tile method is kind of how you config this tile tool. I'm not going to go through all these once again because I don't want to waste too much time explaining what the tile tool does. I might make a separate video for that, but in this case, all we really want to do is we want to use the unique value tool, which means group everything by its unique value, okay? And then similar to kind of like when you cross tab, just pick a method, or no, this which column. I want to group it by count, and then do you want to group by which column? I don't think you need to mess with. You might have to. Let me run it. Let me double check. Okay, so once you run the tile tool, once again, like it's nothing here, but when you run it, what you'll see is it basically gives each unique group a tile. So if you see here, Janet and Mark, they both share 17, so they're part of tile number 12. That is group number 12. And then they next sort it however they do it, probably alphabetical, in which they come. So Janet is part of group 12. She's the first entry. Mark is part of group 12, second entry, and so on and so forth. If you look here, there are 4 people with group values of 14. They all belong to group 10, and similarly 1, 2, 3, 4 is probably going by ABC order, B, C, C, L. Okay, so that's how the tile tool works. And because we can do it this way, what we can do is we can kind of, using this tile number, we can pull the top 5. But if you notice here, like it's kind of in reversed. So, I mean, you could brute force and write 12, 10, 9, 8. But I think you can, I almost think you can, yeah, you should be able to group leave unsorted. Maybe that's, oh, that's right. You have to leave unsorted, I believe. Ooh, that's the key. Okay. So I was thinking like there's a way to switch the ordering around, but I don't believe there is for the tile numbering. But what you can do is you can leave unsorted. And what I mean by that is it'll remember the order in which the data came in. So we're going to take advantage of that, and what we're going to do is we're going to pre-sort it to the order we want, which is just essentially count descending. Okay, so when we run it that way, it should trickle through. So what I mean by that is, now that it's stacked this way so that Janet and Mark and the highest values are up first, it's going to add the tile values, and that should naturally count out the order it should be. And so if you look here, oh no, you didn't. Why did that not work? First, oh, oops, I didn't leave unsorted. That's why. Run it again. There you go. So there you go. So, oops, I was reading the. So this now works because I forgot to click the most important part, leave unsorted. So if I recap, if you click on this button, it will maintain the order that thing is coming on and just rank it based off that. And so because we ordered it in the way we want already, when we tile it, we don't have that issue like we did before, which is ranking in reverse. And since we have it in the correct order, all we need to do now is fish out the ones we want, which is tile numbers 1 through 5. Now, unfortunately, we don't really have anything to reference for tiles 1 through 5, so you're just going to have to brute force it and just give it a text input. And so what I mean by that is we're just going to have to create something called rank. And we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meaning we're just going to pull things that are top 5. And to do that, we're going to do something similar. We're just going to join. Okay, so we're just going to join anything that matches with top 5. So we'll take the tile number. Here, let me pull this one. So this is effectively the rank. So we'll do tile number with the rank. Okay. And so what fields do we want? Well, we don't really need these two. This is just kind of extra fat. And now that we're linking by the rank, we especially don't need all of them. I mean, they both. There's always like a field that is shared between them. And in this case, it's rank and tile number. So I'm just going to select both and just keep rank count first. And I'll run that. And if you look at the join function, it should only give you the top 5, which it does. And there's 12 records here. And we do something similar, okay? If we QA it, we can just stack the 2 on top of each other. And if it splits perfectly, then it means we have the correct answer. All right. In which case, so if you see here, it might have seemed a little quick, but basically same thing I did before. I just stacked my answer here from the original answer up there, and then I deduped it, and you see that 24 came in and got split exactly by half, 12. All right. And that is 2 ways to do it.